Okay, good afternoon, folks. Sorry, a bit late. I'm having problems with connecting my stream for some reason. I have to just go into just live stream now as opposed to setting up my stream, strangely enough. I'm not quite sure why. So, hope everyone is okay. So, let me have a look. So, another Friday. The weeks are going by so quick, aren't they? Quite not a huge amount of volume overnight, pretty low. I did just look at a possible setup on here. We're clearly going up at the moment. We've got a channel with a break and a new low. We've got to move up. There's a higher low there. The only thing is there may be a small break here, or if I tighten that up, a possible overshoot. So I was just giving this a little bit of space, and obviously with the open as well. So I just kind of left that. Does look like it's working. It's probably going to clear those highs, but a bit too close to the open for my liking, and a couple of discrepancies anyway. So, Arminas, how you doing, bud? Richard, good morning. Disco, how are you? Okay, so we've had this leg down overnight. We've had a small break. Didn't quite make a new low there, but we had a couple of legs down and we did there, so that's played out. But we are trying to go up and struggling, in all fairness. So everything is working okay, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. Ben, how you doing, pal? Molly, no, stop it. Sorry about that. I'll just strip the bed and wash the sheets, and the dog is planting herself in a quilt. You all right, are you? Okay. So, book map. How you doing, Wilson? 45. So, we got some sellers up here. Does look like we're ranging a little bit, I think. We've got some news coming up in just under 15 minutes. We've got no oil news that I'm aware of. I usually check. We may just be ranging at the moment. Kind of starting to look that way. Oh, starting to look that way. Yeah, we got 1, 2, 3 touches there, a couple of bounces there, and a few touches there. So it does look like we're ranging. So we have Wilson. Stop pestering me. We have good boy. We got buyers down here at the bottom, as we can see, at 25. We've got sellers at 40, which is there. So buyers down here, sellers up here, which is why we may just be kind of just popping backwards and forwards there. Yeah, so I go for 10 ticks on this chart, and that wouldn't have made it. It went up about 9, depending on where I got in, but it would have to tick through, and it looks like it's coming back. I'm just not sure what's going on here. We've had a little kind of a double top there. It may push up, but I've got this. I mean, I could. Trouble is, if I drag that out to there, I'm missing this. I'm missing this. So it's hard to say. If I took that to there, it actually doesn't fit terribly bad, does it? The trouble is I had it tight initially, so I try and not move it if I can help it. But it's a very small break. In fact, it's negligible. So it looks like it's going to continue up. So I'm just going to leave it as a small break for now. But usually when we have such a reasonable move up there, we have more than just a tiny little step outside. Lance, how you doing, buddy? So we'll keep an eye on that anyway. Let me just check if we've got any oil news. Pretty sure we haven't today. I don't think we have. So that's it today. No, we've not got no oil news, so we don't need to worry about that. Beach Bum, how you doing, pal? So I ended up taking a trade yesterday. I was quite pleased, actually, because I was starting to get a little bit frustrated. So I think my trade journal. January. So this is my trade journal for the month. 5 trades. That was on just one account. So this is what I'm up so far this month, and I consider this month to be absolute shite, for want of a better word. But the good thing is you don't need... Let's have a look. So 1212. Add 2170. 2170. Add 2091. Add 150. $4 are going to come off that. Equals take away, let's say $4 equals add 1920 from yesterday. 1920 equals. So I'm still up 7,500 for the month. Which, considering it's been absolutely bloody appalling, it's not too bad. That's the beauty. Even if you can only get one trade. I mean, I think I've taken four trades overall and one trade on just that one account. But if I can get one more trade either today or all next week, that'll put me still over $10,000 for the month. Now, I've still got to build my accounts a little bit more before I can start payouts, but it just gives you an idea, even when things are crap. How was yesterday? You missed a whole day. It was okay, actually. It wasn't bad at all. What's the trade I took? I took that one there. So we seem to have a spike in channel. Mac did mark it. Mind you, he had it as a larger channel. But to be honest with you, he would have had that initially, and I'll tell you why. He had that later on in the day. Now, when I took that trade, you wouldn't have had this, so you wouldn't have had a channel. That's why Mac can mark channels, mark trades with channels he's seen at the end of the day. But ordinarily, when we were up here, when I took that trade, you wouldn't have had this pullback in the bounce. So he did mark it, second entry long. So it was kind of a, spike in a channel. That's how I think everybody else had it as well. This looked a bit different, but we clearly got two little legs down there, 3 bars with a little pull up and 3 bars back. Second entry long, I took it. And I think the more I looked later as well, we had a break of it, 2 legs back, a retest. There was a higher low. I didn't have a great bar here. I like to have a good bar followed by a higher low. But the more I looked at it on my second chart, the better it looked. So that was another good setup as well, and obviously you can see that took off. So there was 2 setups. I mean, to be honest with you, I was relieved that I'd finally got a trade. I wasn't even really paying attention here. I was kind of in my element, for want of a better word, but you can clearly see we're actually finding some support there as well. So we got a break, 2 legs down, a retest. It was much better on the second chart. We had a good push up. Oh no. It still didn't look great here, but if I remember rightly, we had a good solid bull bar and the higher low, but I wasn't that fussed at the end of the day. But it was what I would consider 2 trades in close succession. We really have that nowadays, so it turned into a good day. There was this one as well, so we had a second entry short followed by a lower high. I left it. It was something like 26 ticks or 25 ticks, and I wasn't 100% sure what was going on here because we had 2 legs down as opposed to a channel, so that's what I left. But you can clearly see yesterday that it was a much better day than we've been having lately, so but it was okay. Nice price action last night. UK took a great lower high, 822. You got about that one there? That is a really nice trade, that, mate. I really like that. So you clearly got a nice channel down there. Fitting really nice. This is the type of move I look for. A lovely correction followed by a lower high. You're trapping a bull bar down there. You've got buyers there and buyers there. So that, I'm assuming that was the one. If it was that one, that's an absolute beauty. If I was trading there last night, I'd have jumped all over that. Clearly got a lovely fitting channel with 2 legs up. That one I wouldn't take. It's an inside bar. If that was a big bearish bar above there, close below, I'd have taken that one. But the lower high, great trade. It is, yeah, really nice. I love that type of move. I do. A real nice correction, leg down correction followed by leg down. So, yeah, well spotted. So yesterday, really, there was a kind of a lower high there, but at the moment it's a bit choppy. So it's hard to say. You don't know what you're doing. But yeah, it was a much better day. You don't often see it clean like that. Now, I prefer that a bit close to the EMA, but for reference, we had sellers up here, about here somewhere, and we had a nice big bear bar, followed by another big bear bar, lower high. It's not going to do that without trapping them out for me, especially as we're moving up anyway, so that was a no-brainer. So yesterday was quite refreshing to see those kind of trades because, well, we all know what it's been like lately. It's just been shit, for want of a better word. But there you go. Yeah, much better day. Thank you for your answers. Anytime, mate. You know, I've told you guys many times. Speedy, how you doing, buddy? I've told you guys many times, if you ever want to chat for whatever reason, my Facebook Messenger, you'll get me straight away. 19 times out of 20, unless I'm in the bath or something like that, or driving, I'll answer you. Because, you know, I'm happy to chat. You guys are kind of my work colleagues, so it's about helping each other. So, you know, don't feel I was just saying that out to be polite. I'm not. It didn't bother me in the slightest. Oh, shit, that's a thought. I haven't toggled on my accounts. Let me just check. Where's this news? I better just
Order
check.
submitted.
Yeah, everything's working
Order
fine.
cancelled. Order submitted.
Yeah, what I usually do, see, when I have my whatsits here, I usually toggle them off pre-trading, so I don't if I accidentally hit a buy or a sell, I'm only doing that on the one account. So news, flash service PMI and flash manufacturing PMI, 2 legs up. That's quite nice. That we're not close. We're not. Have we broken those lows? Not quite. Oh, yeah, we have. Tell a lie. We have. So, 45. There are sellers there. And where is 45? It's right above there. So, sellers there. Sellers at 40, which is there. So, we got a leg up and a leg up. If we got a nice bearish bar here, clearing out that liquidity, I may have a go at that. Because for me, we're clearly ranging at the moment. I wouldn't take it down here, though. You're done. Is it really? Is it really? I did say I was going to come back. I was going to break for dinner, which is about 6 o'clock. I was going to break for 6 o'clock dinner, UK time, and then come back. So I'm going to do that for Monday, unless I take a trade. If I take a trade in my normal hours, say from 2:30 to 6, which is 3.5 hours, if I take a trade in that time, I won't come back. Otherwise, I'll take a break for about 45 minutes and come back at 6:45 UK time for about an hour and 45. Because, I mean, if I finish at 6 o'clock, that's 1 o'clock New York time. It's in the middle of the afternoon. It's just in the afternoon, see? So there's plenty of trading time. So it doesn't make... It's not hard work trading, is it? I've been trading long enough now. It used to tire me out, but it doesn't anymore. But when you're all stressed and on edge, it can be a tiring day, but it doesn't affect me anymore. So... Okay, so we've got some medium impact news coming up in 12 minutes. The only orders we can really see, the stronger orders, are at 30, let's say 38 and 40. So I'm surprised that didn't come back up. It is 2 legs up. There is a big bearish bar. You can't take that. Not with all this stuff up here. It may trigger and bounce back up for a second leg, but I'm still full-time sparking. Yeah, I mean, you've got to have your income. You've got to have your income. I mean, when I was bricklaying, I think we got on site about 7:30 in the morning. We finished about 4 in the afternoon. I'd come home, grab a bite to eat, and I'd trade. That kind of first year and a half that I did was, you know, usually from about 5 to about 8:30. You just got to kind of do what you've got to do. It's important to have an income. Otherwise, trading can be stressful, especially while you're learning a bit. You don't want to be giving up your job. I mean, I was bricklaying on a job in Whitchurch, which is about 20 miles from where I was. It was a new housing estate, new build housing estate, and I think I've been trading. I did 6 months trading currency. To be honest with you, I knew jack shit about it, so I was more or less a beginner. And I started following Mac and those other two idiots. And I think after a month, for some reason, back then, we had a really strong uptrend. And all I was doing is buying at the bottom, and it was working. And I was trading 2 contracts on a sim, and I thought, this is easy. I think I remember saying to a lad at work, I'd have made £900 this week if I'd have been trading for real money. So it was a Friday. I'd stopped at a garage for a coffee. And I remember my mum, when my dad was killed years ago, he was killed in the military. When my mum remarried, his pension stopped. And my stepdad died 30 years ago. And when he died, my mum then was entitled to my first dad's pension, and nobody knew. So she had a massive, well, I say a reasonably massive payout of 180 grand. And she gave us 20,000 of it. And I remember she came around one day, she went, I've got more than I need. I'm going to give you another 5,000. And this was on the Thursday night. So I stopped for this coffee and I thought, screw it. I'm going to use that 5,000 and open up an account. And this was after a month. So I remember phoning up my boss, or the lad I was working with. It was an idiot anyway. I went, I'm jacking. I've had enough. I'm going to be a trader. That's all right, mate. I mean, it was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. Yeah, I was only about 4 at the time. So it was a long time ago. But I remember phoning up my boss, or the lad I was working with, and just saying, I ain't coming in, I'm jacking, and that's it. So I driven all the way to Whitchurch, 20 miles, got myself a coffee, and I thought, great, it's a Friday, I'll go home, enjoy the weekend, I'll put the money in my account. So I think I put about £3,000 in initially. I remember I came out and said to my wife, I went, trust me, I know what I'm doing. This was after a month. And I remember putting them, and I couldn't seem to lose a trade at the time. I was just winning all the time, at least maybe sort of 4 or 5 times that, and then I'd take a loss. It was on a sim. So I remember putting the money in, I think it was on Tuesday morning. I noticed the money was in. I was like, yeah, here we go. And I was trading 2 contracts. I don't know why. And I remember the first trade I took, I lost about 350 quid. Or dollars, and I remember having this horrible burning feeling in my chest and my face. You feel flushed. I'm thinking, I think I may have made a big mistake here, and I ended up losing it all within about 2 weeks, something like that. It was mad. And it just goes to show you, trading looks easy. Anyone can click the buy button and it'll go up and make them some points, but to do it consistently is so hard. But I thought this is easy. And that was kind of my first kind of loss. And I think I stuck another 1,000 in, maybe a few days later, a week later. And when you've given up your job, now there's plenty of work for bricklayers around anyway, so it wasn't no biggie. But it was more embarrassing because I remember saying to my wife, "Just trust me, I know what I'm doing." But it just goes to show you, doesn't it? So my advice to anybody relatively new, do not put any of your own money in because you will lose it. I guarantee you it's all part of it. I remember on the Facebook group going, I've just lost 3,000. Is that normal? And I don't know, about 30, 40 contacts. Welcome to the real world. But yeah, so don't give up your job. Keep your income in, because when you start trading full time, ideally you need a bit of a chunk of money in your bank just to cover you. Because you never know. There are no guarantees with trading. You know, when you get to a stage where you're making regular money, you're more or less going to make money. But it's always nice just to have a bit of money tucked aside. I don't know, 10, 20,000, something like that. I'd probably say the latter. Just so you can go through maybe 6 months without pay, just in case something happened. Now, I ended up blowing some accounts the latter part of last year. I did well last year. I got a bit too confident. I lost some accounts, and then it took me a while to get them back. And then we've had a flat month. So I'm going to hit payment level, I reckon, in about a month and a half's time, where I can start taking small amounts. But, you know, I've got to go for a period now of not earning money. I think my complete savings in my bank at the moment is about $5,500. Now, we have my wife's wages. I get a little bit, maybe $500, $600 a month from affiliates. I'm not spending any money at the moment, so I tied me over. But at some point, if I don't start earning in the next 3 months, I might have to go back to work part-time. So it's definitely worth having a job. Like you say, you're an electrician, so you've got a good income coming in anyway. And the good thing is you're working typically 9 to 5. You know, a lot of tradesmen are usually there on site for half 7 and finished at 4, half 4, somewhere around about there, depending. But, you know, with it being a US market, you've got that period of time in the evening where you can put a couple of hours in if you want to. So, yeah, I don't know. There didn't seem to be people around guiding me when I started, which is why I tell you guys, if you're quite new, I try and tell you the raw truth behind it. You know, some people go, it's so hard. It is, but it's doable if you just put the time in. You keep trying. But I always try and steer you right when it comes to the finances, because you can do yourself some real financial damage if you're not careful. It's just about being sensible. Prop firms are fantastic. They are. You can get $2,500 worth of drawdown, you know, for the price of an evaluation and the price of a PA fee. Let's call it $150. So if you traded your own $2,500, you'd be risking $2,500. If you traded $2,500 a prop firm, you'd be risking less than a 10 for that. So it's much better to start with prop firms. Do not start with your own money. I mean, if you are super careful and super focused, and you reckon you can stick to one micro contract, then, you know, maybe I don't see a problem with it. But prop firms are by far the best way to learn, because it's the cheapest way to learn. So, Crypto, how you doing, bud? If there are any young people that want to be a trader, my advice would be to get a job during the opposite part of the day when the market opens. I mean, there's all sorts of markets that you can trade. There's Asian markets. I think things like the Nikkei you can trade. You can trade them early hours of the morning. There's things like the FTSE, the UK markets, you can trade from 8 o'clock in the morning. US markets, you know, the Nasdaq and the S&P, trade them from 2:30 to about 9:30 at night. There's all, you know, there's UK, European, Asian. There's always a time frame that you can learn to trade, and you can, you know, it's not probably the easiest way to do. You can shove it over like that and just do this. You know, so you can come in at the end of the day and just do that. In fact, I think they do a live replay there, so it plays it in real time. So there's always a way to learn. So don't think because you've got a job, you've got to give it up. You haven't. It's 100%. You have to keep your job first. Don't risk your income, especially if you've got a family and a mortgage or something. The last thing you want to do is risk that. So there's always a way, but trading is difficult. It's doable, absolutely, but it takes a lot longer than people think. But if you were going to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, you'd be looking at 6, 7, 8 years in some cases. So it's not terrible, but the money you could earn as a trader will outweigh what you could earn as a lawyer or a doctor in a lot of cases. You know, technically, what you could earn is limitless. Obviously, you've got to build up to that level, whether it's part your own money, part prop accounts, but, you know, there's no kind of cap on where you can be. So it's almost like you starting up for your first day's work at Amazon, and they say if you work hard enough, you can be one of the top blokes earning potentially millions. So there's no ceiling to where you could get to. But you really got to put, I would say, 4 to 5 years of work in. I don't want to put people off. There are probably some who do it in a couple of years. You know, it depends. We've all got kind of talents, haven't we? This, I think, it's probably took me more than most. I certainly haven't got a talent when it comes to trading. I've had to kind of work really the hours and go for all the shit. And I think I've wasted more than most. But, you know, some people are naturally good at some things, aren't they? So there are people. I think Dan did it pretty quick, 2.5, 3 years, I think. It's a skill. Absolutely. The thing is, when you look at this, and I've got a buy and a sell button up here, it looks easy. And to get into a trade, it is. But the more you get into it, the more you think, bloody hell, this is harder than I thought. And then you get to that level again where you go, I can't believe how difficult this is. And 1 minute everything feels great, and it's constantly a roller coaster of losses and emotions. And at some point later in the game, you start to come out and you start to, what I say, plateau, and you start to get that balance. And for me, the best way of describing it, I feel at peace with the markets. I no longer feel like I'm fighting them. I've accepted them for who they are, and I know now I have to sit here patiently. If I see a trade, I take it, no more, no less. But it's when you've got those added emotions that sort of get inside your head and piss you around, and they make you do stupid things. That's why it takes so much, so longer. So I will say things like Guardian Angel Trader will absolutely help you, because it can lock you out the market. So it'll force you to not do so stupid things. So there are tools out there that can help you. There might be a small break here. We've pushed up to there where there are some sellers, but this looks like it could be a bigger channel here, so I'm not thinking about selling. And there's news now. There is, isn't there? Right now, actually. That might have been it, actually, that little push. Excuse me 1 second. I'm just going to go and have a quick bathroom break. Wait a second. Another thing to keep in mind as well, just keep this in mind. Not all second entry longs are created equally. Some second entry longs, that's the best way to describe it. So a lot of the times when we have a break of a channel and we have what looks like it might be a second entry long or a setup, and sometimes I go, there's something I don't like about this, and I leave it alone, and it would have trapped me. That comes from just experience. So the more experience you get, you'll lose less trades and you'll make better decisions. But the only way you really get there like that is just to come every day and do a bit every day. And the losses as well teach you valuable lessons. So don't beat yourself up when you take a loss. What you're getting is a vital lesson. It may not feel like it at the time, but next time you get that pattern, once you got that same pattern a few times and you think, oh, there's something about this I don't like, and you would have saved yourself a loss. That's just down to experience. The longer you've been doing it, the better you get at, making those judgment calls. Oh, there's something about this I don't like. We're going into support or something like that. It's a bit congested. But when you're new, when you go, well, I'm going to have a go anyway, that's not such a bad thing when you're new, because the best way to get in there and learn is just to get in there and take the trades. It's not so important if they lose. You'll learn the trades to stay away from and the trades to get into just by trading. So don't sit there like I do for 2 or 3 days without taking a trade. If you think it looks right, take it. If it's on a sim, it doesn't matter, but it'll teach you the entries to go for and the entries to stay away from. Props, you can make money without having to be good enough to trade with a live account. Yeah, absolutely. Prop firms are a gold mine to newer traders. Without prop firms, half of us wouldn't be here, would we? We're down out there. I wouldn't have the sort of money to be able to trade. 20 accounts that may cost you, I don't know, let's call it $3,000 for argument's sake. What I've got really is $50,000 to trade with. $2,500 per account times 20. I've got $50,000 of trading power, basically. So you can make great money off that for only maybe a few $1,000s. I wouldn't suggest you go out and do that. My suggestion's always been stick with just one account until you can start to make money. When you can start to make money, that's the time to start to grow them. Whole idea about second entries, 2 legs corrections, like trade Lance took yesterday, not just technical entries. Yeah. I mean, I think someone said they didn't like it. See, I think a lot of the times there's a certain reason that I might take a trade and a certain reason that I might not. So this for me was a move down. When it does this, and you get a few bears trapped and it pushes up strong, comes back and retests it, often then you'll get a move up. So for me at this time, price is moving up. Now, if you take short in an uptrend, chances are you're going to get stung. I know because I've done it. So you think about this. We've had a strong push up. We've come back and bounced once, bounced twice, and we're starting to move up. We go sideways, back to the key entry point, and we go up again. So there was 2 main reasons why I like this. It's clearly 2 little legs back, but you've got a bear bar there and a lower high. So some traders are going to think leg up, let's go short here, and let's go short again. So you've got 2 big, strong-looking bear bars there. And once that comes down and triggers it and pushes up and closes there, 9 times out of 10, they're going to get stopped out. You're shorting in an uptrend. So that was one reason. I like the fact that there was 2. I always think about who am I trapping, because that makes a difference as well. And then I think at 50, was it at 50? We had sellers. I think it was, it was at 50 we had sellers. So price is likely to push up because we're going up anyway. And a quick calculation will realise there's plenty. I get out down here. I got out a bit early. I got out for 2 points. That there, you would have had to push through because I don't know. You haven't taken a trade for a while. You want some money. So there was a few reasons why I took that. But same again, experience. But sometimes there is a second entry like that I will avoid. So it comes from experience. You're making better judgments with experience, and you're going to win more trades, and you're going to stay out of more crappy ones. But staying out of congestion has helped me a lot. and just taking, I think there's a rule of thumb, I think the less trades you take, the better, there seems to be the better win rate you have. And you may think, if I'm only taking 2 or 3 trades in a week, it sounds bad, but if you look at some other traders, they might be taking double that, but they're losing 2 of them and usually more profit. So by taking less trades, you're not really going to be any better off. In most cases, you're worse off. Sorry, in most cases, you're going to be better off. Second leg correction plus key entry point, i.e. channel resistance levels, make a better trader or not. It only takes 6 ticks on a second entry at 8 ticks on a lower height. Yeah. It's judgment, isn't it? And that it's like anything. If you started as a junior doctor, you would see the patient, you would take a few notes and make an assessment, and then you would go and see your senior doctor and run it by him, because he's been doing it a lot longer, and he will go, yeah, I think you're right, just check this, just check that, and do this, and that's fine. You're a senior doctor, you see a patient. If you've seen 10,000 patients and you've seen a particular health issue so many times. So I did karate for about 17 years, and I ended up losing a bit of cartilage out of both knees. And the first knee was, I think, was my left knee. I remember going to see the doctor, and the doctor said, you've probably twisted it or something like that. It's inflamed. GP, general practitioner, he sent me away and just said, put some ice on it and take ibuprofen. So I did that for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I came back and nothing happened. So he said, okay, I'll send you for physiotherapy. So I had to wait about 2 months, got a booking with physiotherapy, went to the physiotherapist 2 or 3 times over the space of a month, something like that. Give me a few exercises, blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. Nothing else. I went back to the doctor and he said, okay, I'll send you for an MRI. So I waited about another 3 months. Went and had my MRI, waited about another 4 months to see the specialist. I went in to see the specialist, the surgeon. He looked at it and he said, can you do that? Can you do that? He went, right, we can do another scan. He said, but I've seen this 1,000 times. You got cartilage. It needs to come out. And if you want, rather than doing more tests, I'll just book you in for surgery. So when you see the experienced guy, he just knows, because he's been doing it so long and he's seen that situation. So all that pissing around with scans, GPs, physiotherapists was a big waste in the end, because when I went to see the main man, he said straight away, need some cartilage out. Sure enough, went in, I got a complex cartilage tear, took some, and so on. So when you are more experienced, you get much better at making better judgments. Now we got a channel here with a break and a new high. 2 or 3 pushes. Do I want to go short here? No. Why? Because I can see a bunch of orders up here. There are 350, 450. Between there and there are maybe 500 shorts. Now, there's not much here. You can see 80, 50, 40, 50 at these levels. Once you get above where we are now, 101, 102, 116, right up to 50. So that's a reason why I wouldn't take this now. If you get aggressive sellers that like this area, they may sell, this thing may come tumbling down. But 8 times out of 10, when you've got bigger orders up there and not so much down below, it's more likely going to get in there. I'd say 8 times out of 10. So that makes that possible trade 20% chance of winning. It may be less than that. I want that as a 90% chance of winning. If we had no sellers up here, but buyers down here, I may take it. So it's looking at this as well and making kind of a judgment. It's a bit congested as well, which makes it a bit more risky. But there you go. Too much static, yeah. But if you look on Bookmap, you can see where the bigger orders are. So let's see, there's a possibility that may be a little wider. In which case we have had a break and a new high, but it may try and retest it. But There is a higher low there, but I can't take a higher low because it looks like we've had a break at a new high. So although I think it's more likely to go up, I won't take a trade because it may come and test this first and then push up. So we may have two legs back. But I still believe at the moment things can change, that price is likely going to get up here. So you may... You know, if you got in here a bit early, you're going to get stopped out, and that might help that momentum. So I could be wrong, but I would say 7, maybe 8 times out of 10, I'd expect it to get up there unless a lot of these orders get yanked. If traders have got passive orders up here, which they have, if price looks like it's going to go down, they may just cancel their orders. Some of them are dropping. But we could get 2 legs. In other words, you've got a bull bar here, which is triggered, then stopped out, and then it turns. So that, for me, is premature. Look where it is now. One more tick and that stopped out. Yeah, it stopped out. So you're getting used to noticing a lot of this. It's a bit congested. When you've seen this picture so many times, you'll get used to just knowing it, knowing when to stay out. So we've had 2 legs down now, so we may now push up. Or it could come tumbling down. If sellers like this, you might see those aggressive sellers shoot up. You will do now. Look, we've had a quick push down. Can you see them? 4 million, 3 million, 5 million, 4 million. So aggressive sellers like this, and they decided to short that. So even though those orders are there, they're not huge. But if aggressive sellers like this area, they may just sell anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit choppy and unclear. So you just get used to just looking at these areas and just going, I'm staying out of this. Don't know what it's doing. So is this going to continue down now? So if you look here now, there's sellers at 42. Let me have a look. 42.5. So if this pulls back and tests this underside, there are traders willing to sell there. So based on what I can see there are some orders down here at 30. Price for me now is going to start to go down. It may pull back temporarily, pick up some more sellers, but that's quite a strong move down. So my guess is it'll come back and test this line, maybe pick them sellers up. Them sellers, if you notice, they've dropped a little bit. There's not as much, but they are still there. There's still 120 odd contracts, but it's quite bearish, that is, so it may not get back up here. They're still there, a little bit lower actually, just below there. So I would say there. Okay, so it's picked up them sellers. Now let's see if it absorbs them or it comes down. There's still orders up here. That's what concerns me. 46 and 50. So between 46 and 50, there are sellers. Now this is interesting, isn't it? How does that look? Not terrible. There's the failure. That might be a lower high. Just staying out of this. Even though it looks like this may short and go down, I'm just a little bit wary that there are sellers up there. So, see that bear bar there? It's triggered and pulled back a little bit. Now, it may hold and continue down. The trouble is, if you look at this, I can adjust this channel a bit, and it actually doesn't fit too bad. Okay, so a quick rush down there, so maybe that'll go now, but there There is a little bit of support there. That's the open, I think. So it may have two legs and bounce. Hard to say. I'm not trying to show you. No, I'm not. I'm just sitting tight. That's the trouble. What concerns me is there are sellers still up here. But it does look like it's starting to go down. If we push up here and it rejects from here now, my guess is it'll carry on down. But that looks like a bit of a bull flag. It's quite sharp, but it could just shoot on up. Thomas Way's looking at that kind of same thing now. There is a break on that chart with two pushes to a new high, so someone took a trade there. I looked at that one, but it's too far for a lower high, so that's really only a first entry. There's your failure. Then we have a leg down and a pullback, so it's only a first entry for me, that, so I wouldn't touch that anyway. So if we had a second entry short here with a nice signal bar, I may have a go at that. Anybody watching the UFC tomorrow? I think, isn't it Michael Chandler and Paddy Pimblett, I think? I think it's about 2 o'clock in the morning UK time, 2 o'clock Sunday morning, I think, Saturday night in the US. Paddy the Baddie, and I'm pretty sure it's Michael Chandler. You want to see it reject? Yeah, if it gets up here and rejects off the top, see if this is a channel there, the top of the channel is right here, so you don't pay for that stuff, you just watch the highlights. Yeah. I've got one of those, them, you know, those Fire Sticks that you can watch stuff on Amazon Fire Sticks. UFC. Yeah, I don't mind UFC. Yeah. I watched it for years on and off, ever since, I think the first time I watched it, Crikey, was probably 15 years ago when I think it was, they did that in the house, didn't they? It was Dan Anderson and he was the mouthy Mancunian. I can't remember his name now. Lost one eye, did he? It'll come to me. So yeah, I quite like it actually. I've always been a boxing fan. I thought martial arts was brutal when I first started watching it, with all the elbows and stuff. But it's like anything: the more you watch something, the more you kind of, you know. Tradeify partnered with Izzy as a brand ambassador. Wow. So this looks a bit different here. This looks like we may have a break here. So there are still orders up there, not as big as they were, but there still are some rather large ones. So this could possibly push up to here. Now, I wouldn't take that short anyway, because it's only a first entry. It's irrelevant whether I think it's going to work. It's out of my rules. Can you see these orders here, though? 46, 47, 48. And they all start from there. So if you shorted this, it may do that. Does look like a bull flag. Mind you, aren't bull flags slightly at slightly less of an angle? It's hard to say. I mean, look at these bigger orders now. They're starting to come in again. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing took off again. Now, if we had two legs up and a nice bearish bar below the EMA, that wouldn't look too bad. But you can see from 46 to 51, there are lots of sellers. So I wouldn't be surprised if this got up here. There's not as much in the way of buy orders lower down, so the easiest place to go is up. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the beauties of having bookmap. You can see where it orders. Without bookmap, you don't know what's where. Can you show your trade you took on MNQ? I haven't taken a trade on MNQ, bud. Not sure what you mean there, bud. MNQ. I know what it is, but I don't trade it. Oh, you took. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, that first one. So we've had an overshoot, haven't we? And we've got a channel down with the break 2 pushes to a new low. Would I have taken that one? No. Not that I think it's a bad trade. Actually, yeah, I might have done. It's not a bad trade, that one, is that? Yeah, it is a triple test. We've pushed down, cleared out any previous liquidity. So we've got a channel with a break, 2 pushes to a new low. I think I would have waited for the higher low personally, just in case that channel is slightly wider down. But I don't think it's a bad trade, mate. It's not something I really take. It's quite shallow coming down and very sideways, which would indicate, yeah, I don't think it's a bad trade, mate. Another thing as well, I was talking to Vladdy about this a couple of weeks ago. How price reacts after you take a trade is usually a good indication that other traders like that area and bought as well, and it pushed up strong. So I think that's okay, mate. If enough buyers buy that area, that's what price will do, push up, because we're clearly coming down at the moment. So, yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, you're welcome, mate. I don't trade the NQ. It's too manly for me. You need to be a real man for the NQ. I'm too much of a coward. So this is starting to look like a bull flag, and usually I've got bull flags here somewhere. Where is it? Yeah. So... yeah, so I've got one of those mouse mats with them on. So I am aware of bull flags. I don't trade them, but you can clearly see we got that push up and the little flag, and then a strong move out. So that's why I'd be careful getting in short here, because you never know. Purely and simply because I could see there was orders up here. That tells me, do I really want to go short when there's a stack of orders up here? So we got a channel with a break and a new high all in one. Now, would I go short here? No, because there's still sellers up here. 52 sellers. Sorry, about there, and there's sellers further up as well, about 53, which is where a tick or two above that bear bar, and there's sellers at 55 there, and there's a big chunk of sellers, looks like about 60. So we've got large sellers right above price, and we've got buyers just here. So my guess is it'll pull back, pick up those buyers. 47.5. It's got them, I think. Yeah, so my guess is this could push up, or it could come tumbling down. Who knows? But I wouldn't take a short here based on those sellers up there. There are sellers at 47.5, so it may come down actually. Waiting a lower, yeah. I'm in channel break, new high. Trouble is, we could still go up there. Can you see how many orders we got up here? There are some sellers there, so perhaps people think this is coming down and I'll short the pullback. I'm just not sure at the moment. Just get a break. Yeah, once the channel's played out, in a lot of cases it reverses. Sometimes it'll pull back and continue on up. So there are buyers down here at 45. Can you see why? That's right where that stop is, of that bull bar. Now we have got sellers up here. They're quite high, so that natural pull will be less. So I would expect that bull bar to get stopped out. It may hold because there are buyers there, but I would have suggested it's more likely to stop that out. And if it does, it may come down. But trouble is, there's quite a few orders here. There are, yeah, the larger ones are there. So my guess is that is vulnerable. So I'm not ready to short or anything yet. This is an area of making its mind up. We got a channel down there with a break. That's gone too far for a lower high, really. It's negligible. But that to me looks like a little micro channel. So there's the break. Yeah, I still think this may go up. I was kind of hoping it would pick them buyers up there, which is one tick below there. In your Replicanto window, there's a column for ATM copy. It has a triangle. Yeah, I've seen that. Do you use it? No, I don't, mate. I don't quite know why. Some people have said you've got to do it. Well, I'm sure someone said to me, but I never have. All I've ever done is just that. And it's always walked flawlessly. But yeah, I don't exactly know. I don't fully understand what it is. All I know, I've never used it, so I just do it. I just do that. Actually, just select them for both of them. I've got them for both. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure. ATM copy something. Yeah, I don't know, mate. I probably should learn what it is exactly. But trouble is, when you don't use something and you don't feel the need to have something different, everything works fine. You kind of don't bother asking, do you? So, does seem like it's holding, but I've got a manual somewhere saved for it. I should go into it and look at it, really. But I haven't updated it for a while. You used to get emails, don't you? I can't remember the last time I had an email. Helps with those rare occasions when it's volatile and PA moves fast and your lead account gets filled and stop loss take profit, but the follow accounts don't. Yeah, that seems to ring a bell, actually. Somebody mentioned it a long time ago, maybe a year or so ago. I've just never used it, so, and I don't think I've had any issues where, where maybe one or two accounts have and the rest haven't. On the rare occasion, I've had a couple that haven't closed, but, I understand that I've got this thing down here, which you can see, and it'll show there'll be a red cross. Doesn't matter. So, incidentally, if you do use the copy and you see any orders, positions in NinjaTrader, as long as the positions are closed in Rhythmic, that's all that counts. And to fix that and get rid of that, just disconnect your NinjaTrader and reconnect just with the disconnect and reconnect button. If you go into connections and then just click disconnect and reconnect, and it'll clear that. The important part is when you get into a trade specifically on Rhythmic, it'll show here in this under the symbols, and when the trade's closed, those crosses will show greyed out. So as long as they're all greyed out, there are no trades open, regardless of what NinjaTrader says. But it'll show them or here, wherever it is. But you don't want them floating around. So just disconnect and reconnect. But yeah, I've not had any problems that I remember without having. As I say, I've never used them. So fingers crossed. Was that the position window Rhythmic open too? Annoying when you get, yeah, it is, yeah. It just, the thing is, when you're trading quite a few accounts, you've got to cover your arse, haven't you? I mean, we know on the rare occasion things can play up. Nothing's infallible, isn't it? But as long as you know what to do if it happens, then any losses you get will be minimum. On the rare occasion, you can be up a little bit, but it rarely happens for me. But I always, when an account close, is just look here and make sure these are all greyed out. And as long as they're greyed out, you got no issues. I would say probably 7 times out of 10, it may still show an order here, but as long as they're greyed out, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Just disconnect and reconnect, and that's sorted out. But yeah, you got to be aware of those things. I'm not sure how it works with Tradeovate, because you don't have anything open with Tradeovate, do you? That shows all your accounts, I don't think. But I think I was talking to Nutty maybe 6 months ago. He said he trades all his accounts on Tradeovate. He doesn't trade any on Rhythmic, and he just never has any problems. So at some point later in the year, when I get these to pay, I will start picking up some more and use them on Tradeovate. So I might learn a little bit more about how Tradeovate, whether it has problems and how to sort them out. So we've got a channel down here, 2 attempts to push up, possibly a bearish bar here. Now, the temptation here is to go short. Now, we've got a channel down here with a break. We haven't had a new low yet, and it may well come down. But with these orders up here, 55 there, and 60 up there, and there are some about 51-ish, 52-ish. I wouldn't take a short there, although we got a channel up, break new high, channel down, 2 pushes up. It may well come down, but if we had a bearish bar there, my guess it may be a bit of a trap, because I think prices are still going to continue up a little bit. When NinjaTrader fucks up, your Tradeovate accounts are in trouble. That's why I like Rhythmic. Yeah, I have used Tradeovate. I had some Tradeify accounts a while back, and I could go in there and seem to close them down individually, but it just felt a little bit worrying. But the good thing about Rhythmic is you can have this and you can see straight away, and it is clear. But you can only trade from one prop firm on Rhythmic, but you can trade multiple prop firms on Trader8. So at some point later in the year, I'll be deciding to grow some prop accounts, and I'll be forced to trade them on Trader8, really, unless I want to trade them separately. But I rarely get a trade in a day, so I'd certainly rather. So I'm going to have a little look into that and find out what to do if stuff goes wrong. But as I mentioned, Nutty says he trades all his account and he's never had a problem. Doesn't mean you won't. And when you're trading, if you've paid a lot of money to get those accounts, you certainly don't. You want to know what to do if something goes wrong. And you try to take 3 minutes to restart also, if you have any stuck orders. Yeah, so with this bit there, you can see this here. When I get into a trade, you'll see it there, and you'll see a cross that'll be red. And when you hit your profit, those red crosses will be greyed out. Now, as long as they're all greyed out, it doesn't matter whether you're showing any orders in NinjaTrader. That's important. So if you're seeing any in NinjaTrader and they're all closed, just disconnect and then connect to NinjaTrader for your data, and that'll just clear that out. So it's just a little fault. I'm not quite sure how or why we get it, but I would say 8 times out of 10, I usually get it, but I just disconnect and reconnect. I don't know why it does that. Okay, can you see we got a channel down and 2 pushes up? That wouldn't surprise me if we trap some shorts there. It hasn't triggered as of yet, but my guess is price is going up based on what I can see on. So 375, there are 123 contracts. 55, there's 191 contracts. And further up as well, I think it looks like about 700, which is a bit further up there. Miles up, eh? 58, 60. Oh no, 60. There. So there are sellers progressively higher, not much in the way of buyers. So usually that means we're going to get a continuation. And this looks to me like we may be getting a second leg up. And where's that going to take us? Right to this area. So that second entry, fortunately, never triggered. But you're going to have people seeing a channel down there with a break, 2 pushes up and a bearish bar, but it never triggered. So my guess is this is more likely, based on what I can see on Bookmap at the moment, it's going to head towards these orders. Just look, the second entry, although uptrend played out, higher low and nice rejection candle convinced me. What second entry on about? This one on this chart here. Yeah, the only thing that concerns me slightly about that one is we've got a channel down here with a break, and it may come down below and stop you. So we've had a move up. We could get this 2 little legs back, clear out any liquidity and a push up. But the one thing going for it is this bull bar there is tucked tight on that EMA. And we didn't stop that out. So, yeah, I'd say it's probably going to work. It's not a type of trade I would take personally. Yeah, I get it, mate. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? We can all kind of see the same thing, but we all have that slight variation. It's weird, isn't it? I'm just trying to see if there's any trades like it. Any traders I can see who took it. This is Dan's. Max just posted that, actually. That's it there, isn't it? Yeah, see how he's got the channel down there? The channel down there with a break. Now, it's gone up quite high, but it could get up and retest this bit of support and have a quick launch down, but it has made plenty. But you don't know whether we're going to do that, but It's holding, that's for sure. So I can't see. Has he took it? No, it was a little bit early. Let's have a look at Thomas Wade's. I can't see anybody. Okay, so there's one guy. He's took it. Yeah. I can't see many people talking about it. So what I'll say, though, is if it's the type of trade you take and you have success with it, keep taking it. Because although most of us trade pats, we still have our favourites, don't we? For want of a better word. If I've always sort of steered away from those, I may be missing out on a possible entry, so it's one of those things, isn't it? We all have those quite, something that kind of, but with a channel down and a break, you never know whether it's going to stop, trigger you, and then have a quick leg down and have two legs, you know what I mean? But the EMA is holding, yeah. In all fairness, it did push up quite strong, so I think that's, as I mentioned earlier, how price reacts to a possible trade is usually a good indicator that there are obviously more traders in there. So, and it pushed up quite strong, so I'd say you're all right there. Trap the shorts, yeah, that's yeah, absolutely. What I will say, though, is it closed. I don't think there was many shorts there, and I'll tell you why. Price closed there, and if you got shorts, stops are going to be... It closed right at the top. Stops are going to be there. We pushed up, came back and pushed up again, so we didn't get a massive reaction there, so I wouldn't have think you'd be trapping many. But yeah, so for me, with a channel down the break, I'm always expecting a new low. We haven't attempted it, but I don't think it's a bad trade at all. It's not something I take personally, but it's weird. Sometimes I see Dan not taking trades that I've taken, and I remember once Dan went, "No, it's too risky," and I thought it was an absolute beauty. And I messaged Marco later in the evening, and I went, "What about that trade, mate? I think it's a beauty." He went, "Absolutely." He took it. But Dan likes a specific type of trade, so just because I don't take it doesn't mean it's a bad trade. I do, mate. Yeah, you can see my Replicanto here. I'm trading them all on ES and CL. I just trade one contract. That's the beauty about trading multiple accounts, is you can trade a small amount on each. I think my risk on each is around about $150. So I'd have to lose 16, 17 trades in a row to blow those accounts, and if that's happening, you got bigger problems. But yeah, the good thing is you can trade a small amount but have 20 times that profit. So I was looking for something here on the CL. We've had that channel there with a break, two bunch of pushes to a new high. And what looked like the start of a reversal, we had a break of it. I was looking for a bit push up, maybe a lower high, but it did come down. There may even be a break further back there. That may be a break. It actually fits much better, so it probably is a break here. And then a push up, maybe a test or something, but it's just same again, not a lot here. Is there anything I've taken here? There is two legs down, but it's a doji, isn't it? I wasn't at the charts here anyway, but there's nothing on here I can really... I kind of looked at a higher low here, but I don't know, it just didn't do much for me, so I just left it, but... So let's get rid of that. So we got 200 odd contracts there. We've got some around here as well. Sellers around there. 375, not a huge amount, but still showing there are sellers up here. So my guess is price is probably going to continue up at least a little bit more. There is. You can argue that's a second entry long there. You can count that, or you can count it as a reset and just say it's a first entry. I think it's kind of up to you there, but it just doesn't done much for me. There's not much room to the highs. There's not enough room to the highs for me. If I was going to go one tick above there, the highs, there's a point. So I would be a bit nervous there. Although there are orders up here, we could drop back, clear a bit of liquidity, and maybe do something different. But you may be getting like a channel up there. So what I would say, we've definitely had a break anyway in a new high. We've had one leg back and a couple of attempts to go lower, and then up we go. Yeah, someone said the fail second entry short. That's not a good fail second entry short for me. You may argue that's a second entry short there. So there's your first entry. There's the bar's crap. I can't see how you're going to get shorts trading there. And then we actually came down, certainly for a point. So that's not a good failure for me. You want to really trap some shorts. If that was a really lovely bear bar, then you may trap shorts, but we're not. So both of those orders got hit. So it really works 8 or 9 times out of 10. It finds these areas. So do you know what? There may be a spike in channel there. Yeah, let's put that there. How's that fitting? It's fitting nice along the middle line, so there may be like a 2-tiered channel there. That actually doesn't look terrible. See how we bounced 3 times right at the top? That actually doesn't look too bad. Now, this red line here indicates the top of that gap we had from a few days ago. There, let me have a look. More or less, somewhere around about there anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised. How far are we? 5, 10, about 15 points above us. So orders at 60 still. Orders at 62.5. So indicating price is likely continue up at least temporarily. As it hits these levels, often then you'll see more appear. So we pushed up. We had a couple of bounces there. So it does look like we are working up at the moment. So there's the measured move, which we're about at now. So close to that measured move. So it does starting to look right, that, isn't it? And then we move up into the top. It's fitting nicer on that midline. I don't think we need that. We're fitting under it, and now we bounced on top of it. Okay, excuse me just for a quick second. Okay, 309 contracts there. So a little bit of chop, leg down with a break, new low, retest, strong move up. Fortunately, there's no real way in there. See, somebody mentioned that trade earlier. It looks okay now because we know we're going to... That's the difficult thing. So that's the issue I have with Mac. If we get a bounce here, he may take a trade from here, but you don't know where this is coming down. But when you can see what happened the rest of the day, it's very easy to make a judgment on a trade there or a trade there or a trade there when you know what happened. But when we don't have the luxury of looking to the end of the day before we make trades, God, I wish we did. It's difficult. So we've bouncing off those orders there. Currently, it looks like some of them got taken. There's about 220 odd contracts sat right there to go short. So that, if you look there, in fact, if I take that back to that push there, is right at that measured move to the tick, right where those orders are. So that says a lot, doesn't it? So let's take it from there. So if I take that first there and put that there, look where look where those sellers are. They've just been hit, I think. Yeah, they have. So those sellers are right at that measured move. Now, is that just random? I can't see how it'd be that accurate. There wasn't a huge amount, so it'd be interesting to see whether they get absorbed. But you can see now there are starting a few more. So that is at 2.5, which is there. And there are, see, most of the orders down here, with the exception of 160 and 102, around about the 60, 70, 80, above 91, 154, 91, 136, 122. So there are bigger orders, passive orders, set up higher than lower. There are some at 57.5, which you'd expect for a pullback. Trouble is how it's seen. I'd want it to get down to here, the EMA, really, if I was ever going to get into that. So you can see there are larger orders up here. So overnight highs are here, as you can see. That gap fill from beginning of the week is up here. Yesterday's highs is up here. So, you know, we know kind of price does that, doesn't it? So my guess is it's probably going to continue higher. So that made an exact measured move. So let's see what goes now. How many points do you go for? I go for a flat 3, I do, which is usually on average around a 1-to-1. So at the moment, the ATR is just under 2.5, tick above, tick below, that would be 3. So that's kind of where I'd like to be. If it's low, or I think there's not much room to the highs, I'll drop it down to 2. I did yesterday for that second entry long there. I knew we were trapping 2 bars there, so I took that for 2 points. I got right in on the nail, and that's where I got out there, right between those 2 stops. It did go a bit higher. I would have got the full amount. That's where it would have to hit, but it's quite a bit above there. So, and I've taken 4 trades this month. So when you see something, you're just quite happy to get something. And over 20 accounts, even a couple of points, still $2,000. So it's not pocket change. It's still, so you know what it's like. If you take in regular trade, your account's nice. Usually you'll hold on a bit longer and take your full profit. But if you've had a slow month. Okay, so Mac's been trading this for about 28 years, so he's very experienced. He'll be able to read these charts inside out and back to front, and he does go for runners as well. So Mac trades 20 contracts. He scalps 15 for a point and goes for a runner on the remaining 5. And the way he says his runners more than cover his losses. So he's just done that for so long. We've all heard the phrase, if it's not broken, why fix it? But as a newer trader, if you're trading one contract, in my opinion, you're going to get emotionally crippled. Because there was a bar yesterday that was about 7 points. If you lose 7 points, you could win 7 trades in a row and then lose 1 trade for 7 points. And with commissions, you'd be in the red. So it don't work for me. I can't do a point. So if you think when Mac started, let's do a little experiment here. When Mac started, so let's find his website. Now, I don't say Mac's wrong for doing it. Everyone has their own reasons to do something, and I respect every one of them. So let's just look at his website. If you look at his older trades, there it is. Let me just kill the volume in it. So if I go to his website and go to videos and go to oldest, so he's got trades going back 14 years. So if you look, let's just have a look at one of his trades here. Let's take this one for argument's sake. So let's pause it. So has he got his stop 2 points ahead? Let's just get something a bit different. He did post a lot more trades, I will say. What's that one? Oh, here we are. Here's one. Now this is something in itself. Look at the size of that stop. He gave way more ticks than he used to. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? His average risk was about 2 points. 3 months ago. Hold on a minute. I haven't gone back long enough. Oldest. I see that one. He ended up moving his stop. Nothing I can do at the moment, anyway. Okay, let's have a look at this one. So look where his stop is. It's mad, isn't it? So ordinarily, Mac's stop would be 1 tick below there. So it would be about, let's say, about 98. And his order is 98.75. So that bar there is 98, is 3/4 of a point risk. Now that's extreme, but you won't get 3/4 of a point risk. It's crazy, isn't it? You'd never get that now. Now, I'm not saying they're all like that, because they're not. Where's another one? Let's try this one. Okay, so his risk here is 13,254. So his risk there, tick above. So there's the order, 1 tick below. There's the stop, 1 tick above. 2 point risk. Total 2 point risk. So that would be now like me going for 2 points and having a 4 point bar, which is not unusual. So back when Mac was doing this, he would often get a total risk of 2 points. That don't happen these days. It just doesn't happen. So the way I see it is trading is a business. Now, you've got to weigh up your cost price to what profit to what your selling price is. So if I bought, say, a dozen eggs 10 years ago for $1 and sold them for $2, you're making some profit. Now, if your stock price goes up to $1.75, you can't still sell them for $2 because there's no profit in them. So if your cost price goes up, you've got to put your profit up. So if the bars are twice the size that they used to be, if that signal bar there, let's pick a signal bar. All right, this bear bar, what's that bear bar? That one up there, if you wanted to take that short. So a tick above, tick below. So your risk there is, your total risk there is 5.5 points. You can't still go for a point. It's mad. Just because the signal bar is bigger doesn't mean the next bar is going to be smaller. You'll be able to take a bigger profit. So if you go down there and take 3 points, you're still out before that bar's finished. So if your cost price goes up, you have to sell them for more money. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense to me. But I don't know. Let's say in another 10 years, if Mac's still trading and the average bar size is 6 points or 7 points, is he still going to be going for a point? You see what I'm saying? If your risk goes up, you have to put your profit up. Otherwise, all you're going to do is you're going to do yourself out of money. Now, Mac's been doing it for that long. It works for him. He's very good at what he does. So I get why. I get why he doesn't change it, because it works for him. But I looked once, maybe a year and a half ago. I went through a load of trades of Mac's, and if I remember rightly, I noted 105 trades, of which 102 went for more than 2 points, which is 100% more profit than Mac takes. So that's like 98% of your trades go for 2 points. I just don't get it. I won't rant on too much about it, but for me, it just doesn't make sense. Which is why I go for 3 points. I think the average trader I know goes for around about the 2 points. I know Thomas Wade goes between 2 points and 3 points, depends on the ATR. I know Dan goes for 6 ticks. Marco used to go for 6 ticks. I think he goes for a bit more, but for me, 3 points just work because it's close to 1-to-1. And I've done the numbers. I've done them with a couple of people. We've gone through the trades and looked at the numbers, and we're financially better off trading for 3 points. And not only that, if you wait for good setups always make way more than 3 points anyway. And you don't need to take as many trades as well. Christ, if I was going for a point, I've only taken 4 trades this month. I'll be up, 4 points? I'm up 12 points. No, about 10 points because I took a little bit less. So it's a no-brainer for me. That's how it works for me. But, I wouldn't tell you, if you join Max, I'd say while you're learning and stuff, just go with the points. It's not as important. But if it's a good trade, it'll always go for way more than you think. Yeah. I'm not going to show you this guy's name, but I'm going to show you his trade. That trade for me makes no sense whatsoever. The fact that it's worked is irrelevant. But I can't see the point why you would short in an uptrend there. It's a bit odd. Now, even if you were following the short-term stuff, why would you short there? It doesn't make any sense. show you another trade on the CL. All right, bud. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to short there, right at the top of a. It's been clearly going up, isn't it? He might have done it because it's just broken the highs, but it doesn't always do that. So so you've used part of the day before, haven't you? Now, no, I wouldn't take that, bud. Is there a really large channel in play? I'm not so sure. You're banking on the fact that there is. Now, if for something like that, even if I like that one, I would have to wait for a higher low. Not in that, it's quite a bit below that EMA, so it's hard to say. It could come down a bit lower. So it's not a trade I would take. Let's have a look at that one. Is it a bit of a failed breakout? Yeah, see, at the time, we are coming down a bit, aren't we? So it's not something I would take. But if I don't take trades like that, it doesn't mean they don't work. Yeah, you've added some overnight, haven't you? Now, Mac never marks that, ever. I think it's not an issue, because if you were trading the hourly, you would not trade one day, would you? You wouldn't be just marking today, because you wouldn't have any, you'd have hardly any bars there. You may have 15 bars at a push. So you do go back from previous days. So I will say it is using that line. But for me, my answer would be, I don't really know where it's going to go. If that bigger channel isn't valid, this thing could continue down. Do you know what I mean? It could be the start of a bigger, steeper downtrend. So, yeah, I wouldn't do it personally. But if you're trading it and you're not risking losing money, I wouldn't say don't take it, because when you take trades, if they lose, if you take a certain type of trade that's lost 5 or 10 times, when the next time you see that kind of picture, something in your brain is going to go, I've been here before. Ooh, I've seen this before. I've got stopped out in it so many times, and you'll start to leave those alone. And when they would have gone against you, it gives you a really nice feeling then. And then you're starting to understand what's going on, and you're starting to stay away. And that just comes with pure screen time. You've heard Max say that 1,000 times, but I really can tell you that is 100% right. The more screen time you've got, the more you'll get used to how price works. And then if you're thinking, oh, it looks like it's going to do this now, and you see a short, you may go, oh, I'm going to leave this. So you see, when we're ranging here, what's one thing you've heard about ranges? Most breakouts fail. Yes, they do. But often they'll fail temporarily, and then they'll do something else. So you see, when that pushed in really strong, we had a break and came down. See how you got a bear bar there? I guarantee you there'll be traders shorting that, thinking we've had a breakout and it's failing. I always give this a wide berth. I want it to come down and overshoot the other side, and then maybe catch something up. But you'll get used to just knowing when, oh, I'm not sure about this. And if you took that, can you see what happens when price broke above it? We had a big, strong move up. We went up 2 or 3 points, didn't we? Taking any stops out there. And we did the same there. It looked like there was a failure there. Second entry long failure. And yes, it did work. But you've got trader stops there. A lot of traders will take them and try and ride them to the other side. But you can see when it broke above there, we had another strong push up and it ate some stops. So I'm always wary about fading breakouts. The fading breakouts I like to do from ranges are when there's small ones. If we go up and we go sideways a bunch of bars and we have a little drop out the bottom, those are the failures I tend to like taking them. I'm not a fan of them there unless they look spectacular. So I just tend to leave this alone and wait for something else. You know what I mean? So, but don't let that stop you. It's really good to learn by making the mistakes, because it gets in your head then. Do you know what I mean? I've done that many times before and lost. I try not to counter. Absolutely. See that guy that took a trade down here? He took it probably because we just broken the highs. Well, that doesn't mean this is going to come down all of a sudden. And another thing I would get out of the habit of, if you are, is going short in an uptrend. We're clearly going up at the moment, so timing shorts, it's hard. You're going to fail more than you're not, so you want to avoid them, really. So the fact that it worked and got away with it, I wouldn't have done it personally, but so we're clearly up at the moment, aren't we? So you've just got to give us some space. So where have I got sellers? So I've got sellers around about the 63, which is below the top. So now I would avoid a second entry long here, because there are sellers up here. So we've got one. We've been up here. We broke that high. It may try and retest it again and come down. So for that reason, I would avoid a second entry long here. If we came down here for a second leg and we got a strong bar, I would risk a higher low, because we've still got room to these highs. To me, to take a trade, I need to have at least 3 confluences in the direction. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the same with me taking that trade yesterday. Where was it? I forget what it was now. Oh, it's up here. So, 1, it's a second entry long. 2, we're clearly going up. That looks like a spike and channel for me. 3, we've come off bottoming, so chances are we're heading towards the top. And 4, there's 2 bear bars trapped. So that's 3 or 4 reasons to take that trade. But yeah, absolutely. It's about kind of fine-tuning your own way to take an entry based on what you're seeing. We all kind of do it slightly different. You know, we all have slight different ways of taking on risk. So yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's amazing we could all trade the same way but still have such differences. But it's finding a way, I think, that works for you. You know, some people take failures. I don't take a huge amount of failures. I like higher lows and lower highs and second entries. They generally work pretty well, second entries. And triple tests as well. Not what we've seen a lot lately, but also it depends how it pans out. See how we got a channel with a break? So there's a bull bar there. There's bound to be some shorts in there, but I wouldn't take this bull bar because we got a leg down, 1 attempt to go higher. It could be a second attempt to go high, and it could come down here. So I wouldn't take that. Not only that, it's a bit congested. And I would expect probably a new low from there. So we may get a leg and a leg. So I'm just sitting tight here. It's congested, but I think after a while you'll get used to just looking at the picture and going, I like it or I don't. I don't even mess around counting anymore. I'm just looking for 2 legs and then a strong reaction, trapping shorts, really. So you see this there. I don't think it was a bad trade, but we could have, with the channel, we could have had a second leg down and bounced here, which is kind of retesting the tops, which is, you know, why I stayed away from that. And yeah, so it's just one of those things, isn't it? Especially as you can see this moving up, we could have had a bounce, a leg and a leg, couldn't we, and bounced here, giving that 3 touches. So the fact that it's working is irrelevant. If you don't like it, don't think, oh, I should have took it. If you don't like the trade, don't take it. Even a crap trade or a shit entry or whatever will sometimes just work. So don't, just because that does that, don't assume it's going to from now on. You know, you got to kind of learn your own little ways of understanding what's going on, and it's quite personal. Some people like certain things, some people don't. See how we've got a leg down. This could be a 2 attempts higher, and it may come down. There are sellers there, so that is a reason it may push up. We have bounced a couple of times here, but we hit all-time highs and we had a reaction, so you don't know whether we're going to make 2 attempts up and then flush down, clear any longs here maybe, and then bounce here. I mean, this is making me nervous already. It's not the smallest bar in the world, is it? What's the risk? So it's not huge, about 3.5 points, maybe 3.25. There are some buyers down here at 56.25, which is perfect place to buy, isn't it? 56.25. Yeah, it's about 56.25. There are quite large here, so we may have channel, 2 attempts to push higher, and then 2 legs back to here. It may still hold, but I just don't like it. It's a bit congested. It's a bit sideways. We haven't had a new low from this, and now look what's happening. See how you got a bear bar here? It may trigger this bear bar and push up and stop the bear bar out. But I don't like what I'm seeing here. The picture is just making me feel uncomfortable, so I kind of trust that. I kind of trust that instinct. There is a second entry short. That could be a short failure there. But my gut feeling is it's more likely going to come down. And also, it's starting to look a little bit rangy. We've had 4 touches there, 1, 2, and then 3, 4. We've had a couple of touches here. You can see touch there, and even a touch there. You see how it's touching there, so it's looking a bit rangy. So we may have often we'll see this down across and down, or up across and up. So you just get used to just when something doesn't look. I could have quite easily taken that trade. I'd have lost that now. What did it go up? So 1.5. So you'd have got a 1.25 out of it, and then it came down and stopped you out. So you do get used to just, just noticing these things. So there are buyers at 55. So if we add 2 legs down and a bull bar here, that might not be a bad trade to go long. If I'm not sure about it, I may wait for the higher low, but we got a leg down with a little correction and hopefully another leg down. Orders at 56.25 and 55. So there are buyers down here. There are some at 52. I think they're pushing the luck a bit there, but 55 and 56.25. So 56.25 is there. I would prefer it to get down here, but in the middle of there is what the bottom of this channel. But I would still like to see a break. So leg down with a little correction. Are we getting a break of this little channel here? We are. You can see there's buyers around here. Yeah, Thomas Wade has marked that as a second entry long, which it is. I'm not sure whether he's taken it or not. Okay, so channel break. We've got to get into this area. Now, there are buyers down here. It's about 72 3/4. For me, that's a bit low. Sorry, 52 3/4. That's a bit low for me. Now, would I take that? No, because I know there's buyers here. It may go up, but for me, this second leg isn't as big. But if buyers like that, it'll just push up. We are getting a few more aggressive buyers here. But this may finish. It may not finish well. I don't think it will. I think it's spiking. It's spiking a bit early for me. I think this is going to drop back a little bit. I don't think it's going to finish strong. Okay, as I'm not taking it. You may argue it's a triple test. It may well be. There are buyers. They're not huge. There are quite large sellers up here, so it may hold, but I'm not taking it. And partly for this reason, I'd like to see it come down a little more and bounce at this level. Channel with a break, so leg with a correction and another leg. So I'm sitting tight here. Doesn't matter if it works, it's irrelevant. I wouldn't short it. I would say, for me, it's likely to come down here, but I still wouldn't short it because we're clearly going up. It's struggling a bit, isn't it? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. There's some traders there. Dan's saying today is pretty trash. There we go. So if you took that, trigger just stopped you out. That's the beauty of having Bookmap. I can see orders down here, and that measured move is not down enough. So a strong bull bar here. After we've cleared out liquidity, I would like to get below there in a perfect world. There are orders down here, but I'll be surprised if they get taken. So this is quite broad, so I wouldn't confuse this with a downtrend because I don't think it is. But we are getting a break of this channel, so maybe it will come down to that lower bit there. What was it, around about 52 3/4? It's cleared out that liquidity there, which is good. Now, the only risk about going long again when we've broken that, there's always a possibility that this could come down a bit. Now, we've got it as a break on this chart here. I could adjust that a little bit. I don't think it's enough, so I'm just going to sit tight here. I don't know, I've got that channel. In fact, hasn't Mac posted his channel? I think it's quite a while old now. Yeah, I'm avoiding the long gear. It's too long ago. Do you know, Mac had this earlier as a range. Tops, bottoms. So there's always a possibility this is still valid. It's possible. Yeah, you probably could, mate. Yeah. I don't think it's the worst trade in the world, but it's making me nervous. There's some large orders there. So those have all gone. It is a second entry long. The bar isn't fantastic there. It's better on this side. But for me, the safer option is the lower high. The higher low. If you wait for the higher low, you rule out the chance of getting stopped out. So if you look here now, what's happening? Now, if it triggers this bear bar and pushes up, I'd still prefer it to be above that EMA. But my gut is, with these 200-300 orders down here, it's going to get stopped out. And there we go. So as tempting as it looks, second entry long, 2 clear legs down, look what happens. Now, if you wouldn't have had Bookmap, I wouldn't have known those 200-odd orders were there. So when you say you can adjust it, it's come out a little bit further now, you see. So I think it probably is a break. Now, I get adjusting it to fit the top a little bit better, but even if we brought that down and made the tops feel better, it's still looking like a break to me. So you got to be careful at doing that, you know what I mean? So I would tend to go with that. There's 3 touches there, and 1 touch there, and 3 touches there. So I would tend to avoid it. My God, what's my wife spending money on? She's bought whiskey. It's Burns night on Sunday, that's why. She's bought whiskey. So you can clearly see a break. Now, if you think about it, once, twice, we've only really touched this channel twice. So is it a channel? Channel's supposed to touch 3 times to confirm it. It hasn't, although it is still working nice in there. But with the fact that this could be a range day, there's always a possibility that this thing could just keep coming down. So it's one of those things, isn't it? Wilson, you stink. Oh, you stink, lad. Stink. Stink. So now, is this thing starting to drop? 47.5. There are buyers there, which I think we're about going to hit. So this could be turning down. So if you've had buyers, we've broken above this and bounced, you're probably going to have buy stops are there, certainly there. So this thing could come down. So 47, 45, which is there, right where those buy stops are. And actually a little bit lower as well. So there are buyers there. So clear out liquidity. So from the bottom to the top, I'm guessing there's about your 50% pullback level. And right where those stops are. So is it going to come down and get them stops? And then push back up? Who knows? Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. There's nothing I'm doing at the moment. Would I have wanted to short that? Not really. once we've close to stopping those out, because you never know whether it's going to turn and maybe that channel is slightly different. So I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a cup of tea. So I'm just going to pop that on the chart. I've got nothing open, have I? No. So are we bouncing here, or is it going to come back a little bit more? Who knows? So I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. I'll make a quick cup of tea and I'll be back. Okay, wow, look at that. So break, pushing up for the highs. So that's the trouble. You don't know whether we're going to get some kind of reaction there and the thing's going to drop it. Look, for a minute, didn't get down to those buyers. Wow. So let me have a look. So seller. So there are sellers at 60, 190 something contracts are there. So I'm guessing there are traders trying to protect this area. If you're short in there and price comes back up, you may add to it. A lot of traders do that, don't they? Comes back to them, they add to it. But then we have got orders around about the 64-ish level, which is, yeah, around about there. Funnily enough, right above highs of the day. So would I want to go long into that if we got a second entry long? Not necessarily. It's a newspaper. Still 190 contracts there for sale. Oh, quick drop back. Interesting. So, got a break and a new high already. It hit those sellers there and it dropped. Now, where's it going to go? We got buyers at 45. If I was a betting man, I'd say it's more likely going to go up. So there are 100 contracts there for sale. And up here as well still. So is it going to continue? It's hard to say at the moment because it's all quite dark in this area. We've got no news coming out, have we? It's all gone, isn't it? But 62.5 and 64, there's about 64, 62.5, which is there. My guess is with this, you're probably going to get some stops around here because of the overnight. So I dare say if we break the overnight highs, there may be traders selling that. I'm just sitting tight at the moment. My guess is it's probably going to go higher, but we've got a break and a new high already now. A second entry long here might not be the worst trade in the world. I think there's a good chance we get a second move up. But I would like to see, in fact, let me have a look. So between 62.5 and 65, there's quite a lot of orders. So 62.5 and 65. So 65, 62.5, 65. I reckon if I look back, this might play a part somewhere. Look there. See, we push up into this area and then we get rejected off it. Look at that again. We push up into this area and get rejected. It's uncanny, isn't it, how that works? So my guess is we've pushed up into it and rejected off it. Are we going to try again? As we've had a break and not a new high, I think it's certainly a possibility. Now, there is a possible second entry long there. I'm not getting any reaction here. If that pushed up really strong, but the trouble is we've had a break and a new high already, so there's nothing you can really do here, unfortunately. I would have to wait for the higher low, I think. Yeah, it's just finished a bit weak, isn't it? No setup on my left chart. There is a second entry long there, but that's a little bit weak for me. So channel break, new high, so it's played out. You've got a lower high there, so there's definitely traders short in this area, so you may get some traders short in there. For me, it's a bit low to short. You can see there are larger orders in this area here where we've clearly been into before. So I think short in there is premature and you're getting likely to stop out. I think there's liquidity there. But that for me is just a bit weak. The bar, it's, you know, it's a doji, it's below the EMA is a bit flat, so it could upset you there. Many days it feels like the market has predetermined target, usually up this way. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, how it works? It's weird. Put it this way, if I shorted there, I think I'd expect to get stopped out. So there is enough points. If you got in right on the nail, even to there, there's 2 3/4. If it hits there, chances are it'll go above there, so you'd have your points anyway. But I think this is a bit weak. There's clearly sellers up here wanting to protect this area, so you know that I knew there were sellers at 60. So as it gets closer, you're going to have sellers adding on to their positions there. If you got in short here, they're adding to the positions, trying to hold this down. Is it going to work? I don't think so, because I can see up here, if you see this area, in this area we've got 113, 177, 135 contracts. At 60 again, we've got 125. So there's quite a lot of shorts up here. Not a huge amount, so it may not get up. If enough people, aggressive sellers, sell this area to try and protect this area, it may not get up. But if it gets above that bear bar there, you'll have a little bit of pressure taken over it. But it's a little bit congested now, so you never know. It could go a bit sideways. If you've got traders trying to protect this area, but Trader's thinking to go long here. So it pushed up there and stopped that out, as I thought it might do. It's just a shame that wasn't a little bit more bullish. So that should be a bit easy to get through now. Yeah, it's starting to do a little bit of this, so we may get another attempt push up. We may get 2 attempts to go lower before we get enough aggressive buyers pushing this up. So I wouldn't be surprised if this came down a bit. If you look at that there, starting to range a little, isn't it? We've got 1, 2, 3 touches there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches there. So it's starting to look like we've not got enough aggressive buyers putting that up, pushing that up. So it may come down to the bottom again. Who knows? Wilson, what are you doing? Come here. What are you doing, you nutter? Yeah, we're finding it a little bit tricky to get through there, so it may have another go, which I don't think's a bad thing. 2 attempts to go down and go up, mind you. We'll see. So leg up, quite steep, so may have a couple of attempts before we push another leg up. That's if we can get up there. Not really much you can do on this either, is there? This has been shit lately, I've got to say, the CL chart, mind you. At least we've got another chart. Okay, so you can clearly see it's struggling there, so it makes sense. You wouldn't really want to buy there, I don't think, especially when you're getting some support there. So 2 attempts to go lower. It's not a huge amount of buyers below, so this may push up. It may entice buyers. Will it come below there? I don't think it needs to. So we got buyers down here. Oh, that's a bit low, I think. 52.5. Okay, maybe it will. Okay, look at the aggressive. There's 3 times the amount of aggressive sellers there. 4 times the amount of aggressive sellers there. That's what's pushing that down. Buyers down here. Is it going to do enough? So, would that have worked? Yes, just... Yeah, I'm just sitting tight here. You may argue there's a breakout that may fail there, but it's struggling to get up. You can see we came down and at a couple of attempts we struggled, and same again, we're struggling. There is orders up here, but there are also quite large orders down here as well, so this could now. We've had a break, 2 attempts to push higher, it could come down. I can't see a decent amount of buyers. There are buyers there, and a little bit below. In fact, you know what? No, maybe not. Okay, we're getting some aggressive sellers again coming in. Buyers are trying to hold it, but yeah, there's still a fair amount of buyers down here. I think this is going to come down a bit more. Unless we get aggressive buyers now. Yeah, there are buyers there. Right below those stops. I just looked left here. I just wonder whether there was a larger range. See, have we had a break here? I mean, there's always that possibility that we do this. 2 attempts to go lower and then up again. Looks okay to me. That would well fit within that fib tool. So if we go from bottom to top, where's this? Right around this 50%. So 2 legs back right to the 50% level. Kind of testing this top if you like. It could shoot up almost like a penguin style trade. That's what it's looking like to me. And I'll tell you why. You can't confuse that with a trend, really. It don't look right. So I think there's a good chance we do this and that may take off. Not only that, we got a channel down with a break at a new low. So we got kind of a leg and a leg. So there's still a chance this could go up. And there's buyers at 45. Right at that measured leg. In fact, that can come down just a fraction. In fact, a lot of them are just below, so that makes sense. And it's right at this midline if you kind of count that. Yeah, sometimes it does. It doesn't necessarily. That's kind of what we look for. But I think a lot of it is as well, does it visually look right? So for me, it's just worked up within those areas. So overall, anyway, for me, at the moment, is a range day. So we're reacting to the tops. Now, it's made one attempt to go lower and pushed up strong, and it's making a second attempt to go lower. If it can't get lower and this gets above the EMA, my guess is going to push higher. Because if, from the tops of this, is if 2 attempts to go lower, the thing turns down and pushes above that EMA, traders aren't going to bother going short, I don't think. Now, they're quite likely traders protecting this area, as you'd expect. You can see how it's going up into it and rejecting. So this is definitely an area where sellers are interested in shorting. Now, we've been up there once, so there are sellers selling that, and likely trying to ride it down here. So every time it gets back up, they may, add to their positions. But once it comes up for a third time, are they going to cut? It's hard to say, isn't it? The channel up has only, yeah. We showed Lance's ability not to trade. It took a long time for that, mate, to be fair. I was awful, I was. I'd sit here, one of my fails, I'd sit here for 3 hours, blowing my own trumpet, how patient I was, and then within the last 2 minutes, I'd take a stupid-ass trade. I did that for so long. The thing is, after it's like I've said before, you bang your head against the wall enough times, you realise it hurts, and you just stop doing it. And it's kind of a process you have to go through. But it will come in time, because the more you just piss around and don't follow the rules, the more you get stung. Sooner or later, you just give up. And that's kind of where I describe, I feel like I'm at peace with the market. I'm not trying to fight with it anymore. It is what it is, and I just have to wait for a setup. There's something I've got here on a piece. Must get round to pushing it up. Now, I nicked this idea from Marco. Marco's got this on his wall in his bedroom. It's that thing there. I'll read it for you. So it's a quote from Mark Douglas, and it says, "For those who have learned how to become consistent or broken through what I call the threshold of consistency, the money is not only within their grasp, they can virtually take it at will. I'm sure some will find this statement difficult to believe, but it's true." Mark Douglas. So once you've got through that threshold of consistency, the money is not only within your grasp, you can virtually take it at will. I like that. I had that kind of framed. Well, it was just a cheap frame, but I keep meaning to put it on my wall. Sometimes you just have these little things, don't you? I've got someone else up there as well. Success is measured against achieving your own goals and ambitions. Always do your best in everything you do, and you'll achieve success. Overcoming a fear of failure will lead to success in the overcoming the fear of failure will lead to success in the future. If you believe you can, you will succeed. So I like having little stuff like that. Sometimes, we all need little pickups, don't we? So this is interesting. We didn't quite get down for a full move, but I don't think that really matters. So channel break, new low push up. So it's, sometimes you read things and something strikes a chord. I'll tell you what else I listen to as well occasionally is trader affirmations. The ones that tell you how amazing you are. They just fill your head full of bullshit, but it helps you. 100% Pats. Yeah, but at 100% Pats level, you don't trade anymore. Not sure what you mean there, bud. 100% Pats level, you don't trade anymore. I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. You might have to reiterate. So channel break, new low. We've kind of bounced at that right area there. It's kind of bounced and bounced. What he's saying is I don't trade Pats. I'm not sure what you mean there. The thing is, we all take little bits and we all kind of adjust and stuff like that. Mac trades a point. Most people I know now trade more than that. So, I took a trade yesterday. The second entry long, Mac marked it. That one there, second entry long. So, I think that's what you mean anyway. But do you know, I had an email with Mac once a few years ago. That's interesting. There is a higher low there. I don't. It's the worst trade in the world. It's tempting, but at the moment, every time we're getting up here, there seems to be sellers protecting this level. So I'm just going to sit tight. I think that'll work, but we are going to hit some support in a minute. So that's what's concerning me. Now, there's always that possibility that this could do something like this and could sting you. There could be a second entry short here and it may come down. We have made multiple attempts, so going along there is a bit risky. You may get trapped. Look on Bookmap, there's large orders down here at 45. So would I short there as well? It's tempting because you're probably going to trap traders, but at the moment, I'm unsure about where I think price is going to go. The orders are up here and there, sure, but there are also some larger orders down here, so you just got to be careful. So there's a possibility it may end up doing something like that, but that's just a rough kind of guidance. But I think it's risky taking a long here because you can see there is support there, so may well work. It's just something just doesn't feel right to me. The one thing going for it is it's nicely hugged to the top of the EMA, but there are traders trying to protect this level. That don't look right. So channel break, new low, channel break. We've actually made a break in a new high, so I'm just sitting tight here. Failure would be a better option, but we need to get a bit higher really and then have a bearish bar. But it's a bit like this, isn't it? And this area is right in the middle. It's a little bit choppy. So I'm sitting tight. I wouldn't be shocked if this has a quick flush down. I mean, you are 100% going to trap traders there. Someone said they're looking for the failure. That's the safer option. Someone said double trap. Yeah, see, we've bounced off here clearly. And it is a higher low. And I will say, when I take trades, if I go long, there's nothing nicer than to take a long that is hugging the underside of that EMA. But to me, this is a break and there's a new high. So there's only that amount of room to the highs. And not only that, there is support there. And there are traders protecting this area. So you can get stung here. Now, if that pushed up, that will be a better option. That is probably, it is a failure, but do I really want to go long into support there? It's getting so bored. Yeah, I mean, trading is boring when you just sat here. I know exactly what you're saying. It is boring, but it helps me streaming because I get to talk. So I'm chatting, and so whereas you guys, you're not talking. You're sort of sat on your own, aren't you? I think mostly. We're a sad lot, aren't we? But working 3-4 hours a day to earn a decent living and fully controlling your life, I think it's worth it. But yeah, it is boring. Trading is boring. But do you know what? I think if you're bored, that's a good sign. Because I used to get to the charts feeling like I was about to get on a roller coaster. I was excited, nervous, shaky. And that's not a good place to be, because that comes with problems like impulse trading and revenge trading. Now I get to the charts just like a normal day. I don't get that kind of excited kind of feeling anymore, which is good because you're less likely to do something impulsive. So there is a failure there. Trouble is, it's an engulfing bar, so that makes it even more risky. And we've had 3 pushes up. We're going into support here, so that's definitely a no-brainer for me. Bored me, we were at the top of the games. Exactly. That's what you got to think. It doesn't feel like it sometimes, and that's one of the negative sides of trading with prop firms. It sounds great that you've got all these live accounts, but when you get them, if you all of a sudden passed 20 evaluations now and you've got 20 live funded accounts, sounds fantastic, but what you've really got is nothing, because there's no money in them. So you've got to make money to be able to get paid. Whereas if you add your own money, you put 50,000 in, you can start making money from day one. So while you've got 0 in your prop account, the tendency sometimes is to take risks because you're thinking, well, I've got nothing. There's no money in there. So what I've found is the more money you get in your prop accounts, the more you protect them. But it's getting there. When I had money, I tended to get a little bit more protective. But when I had a new fresh account, I had a tendency to take a risk to try and get some money. So that's the downside of prop firms. You start with 0, so you've got to go through that 2-3 month period or whatever till you can start to take some money. So that's the slightly negative side. But it kind of is what it is. But I will say now I enjoy my weekends off. All I found is the weekends just got in my way. I had that kind of gambling feeling where I was tingly and I wanted to get back to the charts. It was a horrible. Karina, how you doing? How you doing? You've come to say hi and leave. How you doing? Have a nice weekend. So yeah, I enjoy my weekends now, but I found out I felt like I was gambling for so long. Oh, it is going up now, but I don't get that feeling anymore. I enjoy my weekends now. So yeah, I went for a stage where I thought trading was controlling me big style. But I don't feel that way anymore. I've just kind of, well, the only way I can describe it is I feel at peace. I don't feel like I'm fighting anymore, you know. I've got to get to there. Do I really want to hold on? Not for me. So channel break, new high. So what happens when we get close to this top? It's rejecting it and rejecting it. Because this area, you can see, this is an area, what do they call it? Supply and demand type thing. You can see it pushes up. Look how that rejects it. We went up, we got above it, we made another couple of attempts. Sellers, look how it rejected it. Same there. Same there. So every time it's getting close, there are sellers who got in here. I'm guessing. It makes perfect sense. That's so tempting to get short there. So tempting. Channel break, new high. But I'm leaving it. You never know, but channel break, 2 pushes to a new high. Clearly finding some support there. Big orders down here at 45. But this is that kind of area, isn't it? But as it's getting up, traders are really trying to protect this area. Yeah, if you're not really sure, just don't take a trade. It wouldn't have been that long ago that I'd have jumped in there impulsively. I see it bearish. I'm thinking it's coming down, trapping. But now I can say, well, hold on a minute, stop a second. It's 15 ticks. Am I right? And there's nothing worse than jumping into a trade and immediately starts to work to the top. And all you're thinking is, please get down so I can get out for break even. But I don't get that kind of impulsiveness. But it is a channel with a break, 2 pushes into high. So you've got a higher low there and another higher low or a failure. So if it comes down below there, it may come down, but I don't want to get in for 15 ticks. Because there is kind of right in the middle of this and you never quite know. Yeah, I know what you're saying, bud. EMA is a little bit flat. I thought we'd find some resistance here for obvious reasons. You can see that there. But as I drew a while ago, there's always the possibility that we get something like that. So I think a lower high would be a better bet. I think it'll probably come down. If it gets below there, it'll probably attack there, but it's a little bit congested and it's kind of in the middle. Are we pulling back to go up to the top again? It's all right, mate. Don't worry about it, bud. It's a little bit of a finicky area, isn't it? Now, 1, 2, 3. Is that a triple test to go long? As the channel's played out and we've pushed up, I don't think there's a wider channel. It doesn't really, at the moment anyway, so I'm just leaving it like that at the moment. Break, 2 pushes to a new high. That will be another bull bar trapped. And you may go once, twice, 3 times. Yeah, 1 or 2 took that trade there. I don't think it would have given me enough points. I think you'd have got a 1.5 at a push out of that. Yeah, it would takes a tick to push through, so there was only a 0.5 available there. So if you scalped it for a point, it would work, but I wouldn't. Well, I'd be a bit concerned. It has had a kind of a bounce there, so it may well go up, but I'm sitting tight here. So the short there, I think, was a good reason to leave that. It's definitely a bit trappy here, so it's a lower high there. You're going to stop out traders there. Trouble is, there's not much room. It's a bit congested here, and there is support here, and you're shorting into support. Do I think that'll work? Quite possibly, but I'm not taking it. Channel break, 2 pushes to a new high. There is support there. It could trigger and push up. See, if you look on here, that bear bar there, it's triggered it. It hasn't stopped that bull bar out, and it's pulled back a bit. So this is an area, it's trappy, this. If it pushes below there, it'll hit that stop. So it probably will, but it could turn. So I'm just sitting tight. I don't like that. You're shorting into support. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a second. Okay, so if you took that lower high there, it triggered you, and it looks like it's pushing up. So it is trappy as hell, this is. Still may go the other way. It's hard to say at the moment. We finished a bull bar there, but that is so trappy. 1 minute looks like it's going up. Next minute looks like it's coming down. So yeah, you've got to be so careful. If it gets below this line here, it'll get a bit easier because there's bound to be some stops. There is technically a failure there, but I'm not shorting into support, even though it is a failure. It may have a strong push down, but I'm just sitting tight here at the moment. It may fail temporarily and snap back. Okay, so it's taken a couple of stops, not as many as I expected. Yes. Choppy old afternoon, isn't it? It's been doing that now for 20 minutes. To like one trade in 2026. That's not a bad thing, mate. That says you got patience. I've taken 4 trades, and I think that's poor. So you've got patience. That's a good thing. My wife's here with the whiskey. Ready for Burns night on Sunday. So, if you took that short there on the engulfing, which you may do if you think it's... so we got one there. So, second entry long, failure. If you took that on the engulfing, you're in this trade. This is looking like it's taken back. So, I could see there was a failure there. But because it's sideways and congested, I wouldn't expect it to work. So, yeah, if you took that failure there, it just stopped you out. So 1 minute looks like it's about to launch down. Next minute it pushes up. So when it's like this, you just got to sit tight. Because I tell you something, there are traders trying to trade this long, and there are buyers trying to push this up, and there are sellers trying to protect this area. You can clearly see, we had a decent rejection, a second one, but they're still trying to push it up. With a correction. Now, if I think about this, if I look at this, we've got a channel up with 2 attempts to go lower. We could push up, one to finish filling the gap. There's going to be stops here, and we could technically have a second move up, a second leg up. But sometimes it just struggles like hell to push up. You can clearly see there's a battle going on there, can't you? We're halfway up between here and here, or just below halfway, and we're clearly struggling. But with 2 legs down, there are buyers here obviously thinking this thing's going higher, which you kind of expect. We've had 2 bounces right at the right area. You may even consider that the first, and then 2 more. So I would have, part of me thinks it's more likely to get up. When it gets above there, it'll get easier. When it gets above there, it'll get easier. But it does look like a move up with a correction. So I wouldn't be shocked if I came back 2 hours later and we were up here and we filled that gap. How long have we been going for now? 3 hours nearly. Bart, how you doing, my friend? I did notice you're back. How are you getting on? What's your start, your back to work been like? It's been tough. I think I've taken 4 trades in January. Fortunately, all winners, but there haven't been a lot of good setups around. It's been absolute crap, I think. Okay, we're above that now, so it may get a bit easier. But you're back. Yeah, I had a look. Someone mentioned it, I think, a couple of weeks ago. And I have a look at your stream. At the end of the day, I check everybody, actually. I look at Alpines and Nutties and just see how people are doing. But it's slow. It's been slow getting back in. But yeah, it has. Do you have a good Christmas, bud? Christmas went. It's been, what is it, a month ago? 4 weeks ago, Christmas? Over by a couple of. That's unbelievable, isn't it? Can't believe 4 weeks ago. Yeah, I noticed you were doing a bit of Forex as well. That's kind of where I started a little over 5 years ago. But trouble is with Forex, I found there was just charts everywhere, multiple currency pairs, multiple time frames. But I do prefer this. I got to say, I do prefer one chart. Although I'm trading CL chart as well, purely because we haven't had much in the way of setup. So it's just a kind of a backup. But yeah, I've taken 4 trades so far this year. Fortunately, all winners. But it has been really slow, I got to say. Christmas in Poland, I take you had some snow, did you? I know we had a chunk. Yeah, it goes so quick though, doesn't it? The trouble is, it's like a build-up, isn't it? You know, it's all spending money, and Christmas stuff everywhere. And all of a sudden, one day, in our local supermarket, before New Year's Eve, they had Easter eggs on the shelf. It's mad, isn't it? Mad, isn't it? We get rid of one holiday and they're preparing for the next. Crazy. Kind of jealous with your drink. Gotta wait for the pubs. Yeah, it's Burns night on Sunday, which is like a Scottish thing. So I got a haggis in the fridge. We finished it. We had a little bottle of whiskey yesterday, which went. There was only a little bit, but I noticed I saw a £32 pop up from a shop where we buy some bottles now and again. So my wife will have bought one. She did say it's Burns night on Sunday, so yeah. Snow and frost, 10 degrees, yeah. But it was you don't mind, do you? At least you got time off, haven't you? You know, you're not stuck working for anybody else. I'm assuming you trade full time, do you, bud? And not have to go out to work. You can't beat working for yourself. But yeah, it goes so darn quick, doesn't it, Christmas? This has been a really slow afternoon, this, isn't it? Trying to break 2 pushes to a new high. Nice bearish bar. Left that well alone, and rightly so. It would have triggered you, messed around for 5 minutes, making you miserable, and then stopped you out by a couple of ticks. And now it's on its way down. Mad, isn't it? Full-time London Forex, Bitcoin, Gold, New York futures, quite different month. So you use Ninja Traders to trade it all, don't you? Or do you trade Forex? No, you trade Forex on something different, do you? Or do you? I'm sure I've seen a different chart you've been trading on for Forex. I know I used to use, was it MT4 or 5? I think it was MT4 I used to use for a currency. Yes, okay, so it stopped out that kind of higher low, for want of a better word, by a tick there. So this is just choppy as hell. You went short there, eventually stopped you out. If you went long anywhere there, depending on how far you went up for, it eventually stopped you out. I don't think there was much available above there, was there? 0.75, maybe a bit more. A couple of points. Yeah, it's really struggling, isn't it, now? I won't be surprised if this thing starts to tip. I trade USD on Ninja. So you trade currency futures, do you? So the Euro USD, Pound USD, you trade that as futures, do you? Yeah, got you. Little hammer. Hang on, that's question. How can you see the gaps on NinjaTrade? See, I only pay attention to the obvious gaps, mate. The gaps, for instance, this one where we gapped up, that was down to the European Trump's tariff war on Europe. So they're the only gaps I really pay attention to be fair, mate. The obvious ones. Especially with scalping. If I was swing trading or something like that, it may be a bit different, but they're the only ones I really pay attention to be honest with you. Euro USD is 6E. 6B. Okay, that's the ticker, is it? I'm guessing. I see you making progress. I'm gonna try. That's yeah. Last year, I think, was the first proper profitable year. I might have had a few thousand, but I think after fees, I think I did $41,000, which is not huge, I know, but it's a wage. That's the most thing. But I learned a lot of lessons last year. I made some money in the first 5 months, did really well. Something happened and I don't know, I made a bit of a cock up and I moved my stop and it stung me. So I messed around for 2 months. And then I think, around about August, I think I got 5 Apex PAs, 5 Traderify, got them all to payment. And I think in November, I took about 18,000 out of November. But that showed me that if I just don't do anything stupid, I can build them up. So I think the end of the year, I topped myself up to 20. And my plan now is just to take 1 trade a day. I'm automatically blocked out if I lose 1 trade. And I just sit here, wait. And that's it. So I know this year I've come on in leaps and bounds with patience wise. So, and you get to the stage, I can describe it is you get to the stage where you're at peace with the market. You're not trying to fight it anymore. I was always frustrated. I was always trying to get back what I'd lost, and I've just stopped it all. And I sit here patiently now. If I see a trade, I take it. If it wins, great. If it loses, there's nothing I can do. And then you get that kind of inner peace for I don't want to sound like an old hippie, but you do get that. You're just giving up trying to fight the market. You're never going to win. You just have to literally give it its respect and kind of wait for a setup, and then take it. Nothing more, nothing less. And when you start doing that, things really work nice. Absolutely. It takes a long time, though. It does. I mean, I've been trading now for a little over 5 years. It took me 4 years before I started to get better with discipline. But even last year, I still had moments of impulsive trading. So that was one I talked about there. We got a channel break to push it through that bearish bar that just rejected. 6-12 months ago, I'd have jumped straight into a short there, but now I just give it time and I'm not in a rush anymore. And it does come in time, but it's hard to believe that because there's so much in the way of failure with trading. It's very hard, really, to believe you can do it until you start really following your own rules, and then you notice things start to work, and then you get that kind of aha moment, don't you? I see we're both still using Apex. That probably says something. I know people say a lot of things about Apex, but when Apex did that kind of mass, what did that streamer call it? She went mass denial. All it was is people were breaking the rules. Apex never kind of policed them, but then they realised people were breaking the rules and they just had that kind of denial, and it kind of gave them a bad name, really. But the rules were there, and people were getting away with it, so they were kind of still, taking advantage. But so the only thing Apex were guilty of really was bad timing. But I've had denials with Apex, but when you follow the rules, you get paid. So I've never had a problem with them on that side. Which is why I use them. I like I like how much you pay. are likely to have 20 accounts all in one, little area. So the only thing they've changed is with the affiliates. You've now got to have $1,000 before they'll pay you an affiliate. I think I only did $600 or $700 this month. So that's the only thing I think they've changed. But you don't get any special treatment. I think some people say, I've had conversations with some people, they say, well, they're going to pay you, you're an affiliate. I've had quite a lot of denials. So it doesn't matter who you are. If you break the rules, they won't pay you. Yeah, it's above 1,000 now, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, just because you're an affiliate doesn't mean they give you any special treatment. They don't. Maybe, I mean, if you... Who's the other guy? Who's the ginger-headed guy? I dare say he probably gets special treatment. He has tens of thousands of followers, doesn't he? But no, you don't get any special treatment. And I've said to people in this stream for a long time, if you follow the rules, they'll pay for you. If you don't, they'll deny you. But what they do is they give you the benefit of the doubt and just say trade for another 8 days, and you'll get paid. So there's no issue. Excuse me, just one sec. You all right? Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to say something. No, you okay? Yeah, fine. I haven't taken a trade today. It's not been a bad day, but I had one yesterday.
Emily said you were grumpy.
Emily? Yeah. No, all I said is I went, can you be in the bathroom? She was in. She went, and I went, shit, to shout me. She went,
green.
What? Sorry?
Your mic's still on green. Does that mean?
Oh, means. I did that yesterday. I was having a conversation with someone. I was having a conversation with Emily yesterday, and it was on. So yeah, I'll switch it off. No, don't save it for me. Sorry about that. How's Wilson? I don't know Wilson. He was trading a week ago. If you look on one of his streams, he was trading 50,000 PA accounts. And he's been doing that for a while, and then 7 days later, he said, I passed $300,000 Apex evaluation. So the only thing I can think of, he's blown his account. So he does tend to blow a lot of 20, a lot of them. I don't know why, but if you look at how he trades, it's stressful as hell. Because he's constantly moving his profit up, down, and I don't know. Oh, sorry, the dog. He's all right. He's sat down here, aren't you, Wilson? I thought you were on about Wilson the trader. No, he's okay. He's sat down here. Aren't you? There he is. You're right, Wilson. He's okay. Come on up. He's okay. Here he is. He's okay, aren't you, Will? Hey. Right, lad. You okay? He's okay, aren't you? He's okay. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. He's got real... I can't go anywhere without him. If I go in the bathroom, he cries outside. He's got real kind of separation kisses. He's got real separation anxiety. He just follows me everywhere. But he'll howl and cry if I have a bath. It's odd. I suppose it's because I'm at home all the time. And he kind of, mind you, we have a really good relationship, me and him. He's just where I am. He is. No, I thought you meant about Wilson. Wilson the trader. So what's going on now? Is this coming down? It is looking like just a range there in the end, isn't it? Handsome boy. Thank you, mate. Did you mean me or the dog? I'm assuming you meant the dog. He is. It's getting on a bit now. He's is he 6 or he's 6 or 7, I think. He's getting on a bit now. He might be 7, or is he 8? No, he's 8, I think now. So he's getting on a bit. You and Wilson. I'll take that. I'll take that as a compliment, mate. Well, it's been, yeah, it's been yeah, you too, buddy. Nice to see you, mate. Nice to see you. I'm done myself anyway. My wife's bought some whiskey, so I'm going downstairs for a nice double on a Friday. So no trades for me for the day, but that's okay. I had something yesterday, so I'm up around about $7,500 for the month. Considering it's been a crap month, it's not terrible. So even if I can get one trade next week, that'll still put me up $10,000 for the month. So it just goes to show. Take care, buddy. It just goes to show you don't need to do a lot of trades if you've got a bunch of accounts to make a decent living. So that's the beauty of having that luxury of being able to have multiple accounts. But I wouldn't suggest it until you can start to make a bit. But when you do, it just goes to show the potential. So let me just check. There's no 2 legs down here. No, it's gone too far. My guess is this is probably going to come down and target this area. Oh, there we go. Target this area. Yeah, it is. Is there no news? Is there no? So a couple of bounces there. There's bound to be some liquidity. So it does look like it's just going to come down, isn't it? But I'm going to leave it there, folks. So I appreciate your company throughout the week. At least we managed to get some money. But it has been quiet, but it'll pick up. It's starting to now a little bit. There has been a few trades around the last couple of days. So hopefully things will start to pick up now. So have a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday. We've got a full week. It's been a short week this week, so that doesn't help, does it? So have a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday. We'll do it all again. So have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe, and we'll catch up on Monday. Bye for now.